This is J.J. Watt. Does he look capable of being an edge rusher in the NFL to you? I think it does. I think it clearly does. And with JJ, this has been a long saga now of going on a year of speculating whether JJ might want to come back. I feel like it's more evident than ever that JJ is dead set on making me feel bad about whatever progress I've made in my post NFL career workouts. I'm doing the intermittent fasting. I'm on the elliptical every day. I'm benching more weight than I did in high school. But this is a better version of JJ than even JJ like when he was a player and when he was at Arizona. We're gonna watch some clips from Arizona because I need to refresh some people's memories about just how good JJ was in his final season. This is a guy who is not shied away from saying he's working out this year like he would if he were going to play in the NFL. This is the last year. He said, this will be the last year that I'm going to work out like this. And we know that, yes, it looks like he's training to fight a polar bear. The fiercest of all bears. I don't know. The grizzlies are pretty bad too. Black bears, I've had my experience with black bears. They're timid creatures. Black bears are like the kid in high school who looked like he should be a really good defensive lineman, but they've got no fight in him. That's a black bear. So you just don't go to war with a black bear. Go to war with J.J. Watt fighting polar bears. Just as a reminder, here's DeMeco Ryans one of the times he weighed in on it.
And I love to hear JJ saying he's ready. I got his number ready to go just in case we need it. JJ playing in his softball event this past weekend. It was fun to see all the guys. JJ looks good. He's in shape. He's ready to roll. So I may need to make that call. So I'm happy that that it's open from him. But JJ is an outstanding player, man. He's been an outstanding player for a long time in this league, and it's just I'm proud of him for what he's able to do in the community. Still reaching back, and the people that he's touched here in the city of Houston, it's outstanding to see the response and all the people that showed up to support him this past Saturday. Oh man, really proud of JJ.
Yeah, the community's great and all. You know what? Yeah, it would be awesome to have JJ get on the fundraising app there and raise some money for the people in West Houston right now. But frankly, the people here right now, the ones that have power, they care about whether JJ is coming back or not. I'll credit, I believe it was Cody Davis that asked the follow-up question here, where we got the real money quote from DeMeco Ryans.
If I can ask you a quick question, under what circumstance would you, because he said call him only if you need him, but under what circumstances would you actually call?
I need him now. I need to make that call right now. Anytime you get JJ Watt's ready to go, I'm ready to go.
And it.
Yeah, so and also that clip is from the lead _HOU. Those guys have a good YouTube channel. Encourage you to follow them. One thing that DeMeco said there that I thought was really the key thing, which is if JJ's ready to go, because when you look at the timeline of all of this, and when I say that in the title of this, say the odds have increased, those are my personal odds. I don't know if Vegas's odds out on JJ Watt's imminent return right now, but all the tea leaves kind of suggest an arc that goes like this. And it's very, very common. I've been through this with myself. I've been through it with multiple former teammates and guys I've talked to since I've been involved in the NFL since 1997. The year you're ready to retire and you make that decision, you are ready. And like in your mind, there is no doubt about it. I'm done with it. I've had surgeries. In the case of JJ, he had that scare with his heart arrhythmia midway through the season. He's got a newborn child. That messes with your brain in a good way. In a good way, it puts things in perspective, but you're done with it. And then midway through that first season, like almost to it, you could probably set it at like September, October every year. When a guy's in his first year of retirement, you get what JJ described last year, which was he was at the Steelers game watching his brother play, and it was that first moment where he felt that twinge of, oh man, I miss being out there. And that coincides with your body feeling the best that it's felt since a lot of times like your freshman year in college, when you really start getting banged up playing against burgeoning full-grown men. You feel better, your knees feel better, everything feels better than you have in a long time. But as JJ put it last year, or he did this offseason, when he was on with Pat McAfee, that he had not been working out with the kind of ferocity that he was used to working out with. He was just, he was working out in hotel gyms, just kind of staying fit, feeling good. He was only a few pounds lighter than his playing weight, but he wasn't working out all that hard. it's clear now from his comments about this being the last year that he'll work out this hard, and it's clear from look at this damn stupid picture again. Look at this. It's absurd, man. That is the most he's ever looked like a pure edge rusher, like a guy that doesn't have any illusions about going down and playing defensive tackle on first down or on goal line or anything. Like, that's the closest he's ever looked to that. He looks more like Danielle Hunter right now than he looks younger JJ Watt that got all kinds of injuries and had to play inside and take on double teams and everything. I feel like I had put it once previously, I think at like a 60% chance he's going to return. I feel like it's going to be higher than that now. One thing, let's see, how serious do you think DeMeco is about having him? I would believe it if he was being playful about calling JJ ASAP if he's ready to deflect the question. Yeah, that's the tough thing about DeMeco. DeMeco is maddeningly good at just giving the diplomatic non-answer, and he kind of chuckles a lot when he answers questions, and it's endearing, and yet at the same time, very frustrating when you're trying to figure out whether DeMeco is serious or not. I haven't watched DeMeco in this setting enough to know exactly when his chuckle is a genuine chuckle or a chuckle as a way to deflect answering a question. He's getting the coach speak better. The only time he was like genuinely coach speaking us last year was before the Browns playoff game, right? When he said that Derek Stingley isn't going to travel with Amari Cooper. That's just not what they do. And then traveling with Amari Cooper. Did they do that in the regular season game? Whatever it was, there towards the end of the season. Looks like he's in top shape for that press booth. I'll tell you one thing, Rick, that I've learned, that to look good in a suit, muscles are not your friend. The worst thing I ever discovered in retirement was that, like, if I wanted to look good in a suit, the best thing I could do is just to stop working out. I could stay just as fat as I ever was and just not working out. You see this all the time. Guys that are like yoked. John Cena in a custom fit suit when he's at his peak wrestling form, or The Rock when he was on that HBO show, Ballers. And like they don't look that good in suits. You lose 20 pounds of muscle and boom, off you go. So I don't think he'd be that muscular if he was trying to look as good as possible in a suit. You want to have that gentlemanly physique. So JJ Watt, because I know people are skeptical because, hey, like his production over his final few seasons, he played 16 games. Well, okay, we know his injury history was not great over the second half of his career. He did play 16 games in 2 of his last 3 seasons. Can't remember if it was 17 in that final season or not. But he played just about a full slate in 2 of his last 3 seasons. 12 and a half sacks in his final season in 2022, which was the most since 2018. Like he was very productive. And we know that sacks can be erratic and they don't tell the whole story. 18 TFLs. He had 18 tackles for a loss in 2022. That was tied for the most that he'd had since 2015. He'd only done that once since 2015, and that was in 2018 when he also had 18 TFLs. So, like, he produced at a high level. And just to give you a 1-minute teaser of what he was like in that year. Okay. Did we get the little arrow there? Just, this is not comprehensive. I cut it off halfway through. I didn't even go through to find the very best, but headed upfield, boom, swipe to the inside. Derek Carr, down he goes. Never come back to Houston. He's the right defensive tackle here, I believe. Oh, no, left defensive tackle against the run. His quick swim, his signature quick swim. JJ Swat. Do you guys remember the glory days of JJ Swat? He's got an ambush quality here. These young quarterbacks haven't seen JJ Swat. They don't know what it's like having that big polar bear mitt up in the air 9 feet above you as you're trying to make what you think is an easy short range pass. JJ here, looking like he's wearing a Texans uniform, doesn't it? But he's the right defensive tackle. No, he's not. Where the hell? Oh, left defensive end. Just bull rush his way into oblivion. There, just look for the guy that breaks through the line, like holds somebody off like he's no big deal. Same play, left defensive tackle. Jeez, I'm way off on this. Okay, that came from the edge. Running a game, coming up in Kirk Cousins' ginch. Take that, old man. Stupid Achilles tendon. just bulldozing, dude. Like he has all the power that he ever had. Left defensive end here, shake. And again, that was another power rush. Nose tackle, just bulldozing his way. Right defensive end here. Like he just ghosts that dude with a speed rush. He did it from all positions and from all different angles. I would be super, super stoked about it. I think one thing that's changed in some people's minds for the better when it comes to a JJ Watt turnaround is that you've got a stacked enough defensive line right now that none of this feels like it would be JJ coming in to be the absolute savior or to take a team that can't rush the passer and all of a sudden turn it into a team that can rush the passer. He would just be one more little gumdrop on top of potential awesomeness, because I think for all of our concerns about defensive tackle this year, they've got so many guys, like whether it's DeMeco Autry or Mario Edwards, or if JJ wants to rush on the inside, when it comes to rushing the passer, it's going to be a real headache for teams. And you add JJ Watt into that mix, and like obviously Jerry Hughes is coming along and back into the mix too. Okay, educate me. I will try. How capable is he of playing DT? His edge ability speaks for itself, but how could he play first and second down as an inside rusher? I think if an offense comes out in a 3 wide receiver set, he could play defensive tackle. Like when you're a nickel and dime, I don't think that that's necessarily what he would prefer to do, except that if you got Will Anderson on one edge and Daniil Hunter on the other, and then you got DeMeco Autry at one of the defensive tackle positions when you're a nickel, I think that's pretty enticing, because what do you get then? He's going to get single blocks. Look, there's going to be times where teams have to figure out, oh, crap, we got a horrible right guard, but we're also nervous about our left offensive tackle going against Daniil Hunter. And you either got to max protect or you just got to take your chances. And JJ would get a lot of single block opportunities, and he could really truck some dudes, just like we saw right there when he was coming off of a heart condition, when he was coming off all his multiple injuries. He's just, he looks really, really good. So I'm trying not to get too far ahead of myself, but it was really good. One person was concerned earlier. They asked me, he said he looks too skinny. Let's bring that up again. I'm going to guess that if he played at like 295, I'm going to guess that's like 287. And he might be sucking weight for a photo shoot, something there. So he might be even smaller than that, but he'd have a little bit more subcutaneous water retention if he was drinking Gatorade all the time and all of that. So it's hard for me not to like it. And it's hard for me not to believe that he's really gotten it in his head to go play football. I also want to point out that golf cart. It looks like a pretty nice golf cart, but not ostentatious. Feel like he's just got a good middle-aged dude who's done well for himself in life, and he's not trying to call attention to himself, but that's a reasonable, respectable custom golf cart. Should it be painted Texans colors? Sure, but that's probably out in Arizona. I'll forgive him for that. Definitely winning that fight in the dark alley with JJ. They've got multiple dark alley fight winners right now. Okay, this is enough, JJ. Hold on a second. At least just minimize him. Turns out you can't outwork a bad diet or a bad tailor, I guess. Yeah. No, even a good tailor. There's only so much a good tailor can do if you're like 295 pounds at 3% body fat, compared to if you've got like a more gentlemanly physique. Speaking of which, I'm reading my first Jane Austen novel ever, which I know, very cliche. That's what all the defensive linemen do in the off season. And in spite of myself, I'm kind of into it. I got about like the first 3 chapters. I was like, oh, I hate these people. I hate these people and everything they stand for. And then round about chapter 4, I was like, oh, sick burn, Elizabeth. Yeah, you got him. And then I'm just disgusted with the impropriety of some of these men, these so-called gentlemen.